Hello and welcome to the short introductory video to the Lablabee platform. It's a simulated environment of a almost real 4G and 5G network together with an IMS environment. There is also base stations, UEs. You can configure different network functions, different network elements, make phone calls, traces, analyze those traces, play around in the real environment. The platform is quite straightforward and intuitive, but still, I think that short introduction will make your way around easier and faster. So I'll disappear, make the screen larger, and show you how things work here. Web address, password, these are the things that you should have received in the invitation email from Lablabee. Once you log in, you will be presented with the menu on the left and things on the right. What we have in the default dashboard view here is the sessions to which you have access. The access is time limited, so when the session expires, you can still access the specific lab, but only in the kind of the read-only view mode. You can review different tasks, different solutions, but you won't be able to play around and connect to the environment to execute any commands. Active ones are the ones which are the full access, all the configurations, all the commands are available. You can also view the labs assigned to you in a different way. There's some score or progress, dates, expiry dates. There is also a catalog of all available labs. You can filter by different topics or the advancement levels. Help center with the answers to the most common questions, and also the chat function in the bottom right corner where you can communicate with the Lablabee support, and from my experience they react quite quickly. So back to the dashboard, I have some 5G network slicing session or lab active for me. And let's take a look how it looks like. If you enter some lab for the first time, you will see start learning here. I see continue learning because I've been here before. And once click, there is the number of items here. There are learning challenges, and each of them will be divided into different tasks. So you can choose anything from the menu here, but the best way forward is to keep on clicking next. So you have some terms and conditions, introduction, how the specific lab looks like, and the objective or this specific one. And when I click next, I jump to the first learning challenge, which is some basic network troubleshooting tools, where you can catch some network traces, check some IP configuration. To do this, we need to connect to the network. So connect to lab. This sometimes goes quick, sometimes a bit longer, so be patient if it takes more than 1 second to get connected. And now we are in some kind of a Ubuntu-based environment where you can execute different commands for different tasks. Now this small terminal window blocks part of the view, so you can do it in a number of ways. There is a possibility to connect some standalone terminal application to the Lablabee environment. But if you prefer to use the web-based terminal, there is a possibility to open the terminal in a separate browser tab. Then you can minimize this one. There's also an option to open more than one terminal if you want to do a couple of things at the same time. Now, each network challenge, like this first one, is divided into a number of slides or screens. So there are prerequisites, objectives. The first one here is to do some capture of the signaling traffic using the TCP dump command, and here is the task to perform. So then you can switch to the terminal, start playing around, and then verify in the next part what was the solution, what were the commands to actually execute here. Then there is another task, another task, another task, another task. Each learning challenge within the lab ends with the quiz. So if I kept clicking and executing the commands, I would land here automatically. I just wanted to show you that there is some different thing at the end. And there is some questions that you may decide to answer or not. If you decide to quit the quiz, well, there's just the confirmation question, but it does not block the access to the next parts. So the next part here is the 5G reminder. Then there are others about Kubernetes, NFV, and then since this is the network slicing lab, there are few challenges with creating network slices for various services. Now, the recommended way is to keep going forward, clicking next, 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 because this first challenge was just observing things. But in the next one, this 5G reminder, you're actually required here to fix some configuration. It's for different network functions. There is some architecture picture at the beginning with the network structure and addresses of different network functions, which need to be put here as a part of a task into the actual configuration files. So you can start some editor, edit some file. There are missing IP addresses, missing network identifiers. Now the solutions here follow not in the next slide, but on the bottom part of this one. So you won't be able to do some launching of the UE and tracing some data connections without configuring the network functions in the earlier steps, in the earlier tasks. So it's the recommended way to just go forward, clicking next and next and next. And then, well, in this particular one, there is more and more tasks in each challenge. If I click on the slice creation mode, here is more like guiding you by hand, well, what different commands need to be taken. So there's no challenge and solution. It's just presenting you with the commands to create some slices from different templates and verifying that everything was done properly. If I move back to the very first challenge here, to the network troubleshooting tools, in the solution part, there is some possible command to capture some network traffic. One more interesting thing, if you put anything in the downloads folder in this environment, now I'm capturing some IP traffic, this downloads folder is available from your local machine. So either after a while or after clicking refresh, you can see the file that was created with this TCP dump command here, and it can be downloaded. Your local machine, then you may start Wireshark analyze the file, look for some information. In some labs, in some challenges, this is actually required because you'll be looking for some errors in configuration, and the available data will need to be found in some message in some part of the trace of a specific communication. In other labs, in other challenges, you may also have an access to some graphical interface, for example, for some configuration of UE information in the HSS in databases. That's yet another option which exists here in some exercises or challenges. If you return to the dashboard and if you log out, then the progress of each session of working with different lab will be stored. So then when you return to the environment later on, you will still have the changes which were committed earlier available. So it makes it easier to split the game into the shorter pieces you can return and continue sometime later. Also, if you do some damage, some misconfiguration, well, the problems will still be there. So we'll keep that in mind as well. This ends the short introduction, so have fun, enjoy, and good luck with challenges in different labs. Thank you for watching.